Okay, so we'll go ahead, 10 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Mr. Chairman, would you like to do our invocation this morning?
Heavenly Father, it's bound before you this morning. Thank you for a new day. That's a gift that you've given us. May we rejoice and be glad that we can provide leadership in this county and put our heads together and seek your wisdom in order to make wise decisions. So we just thank you for today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. There's a fresh pot of coffee from Harris today.
Great. Have you circulated the minutes via email?
I did not, sir. They are in your tablets.
Okay.
I apologize for
So everybody
that.
mind taking just a look at that? We've got
They were
two,
short.
we actually have two sets of minutes, guys. So we need to. All right, Michael, I know you gotta be smart to read that tablet, but how do you turn this thing on? Oh, never mind, here, I found it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Start to show my age.
There it is. It's just
There it is.
Camouflage.
Swipe up.
Okay.
at the touch. Maybe
Okay.
Here we go.
thanks, sir.
Okay, Michael,
Sir.
do we have the meeting minutes from our joint session last week?
I do have them. They're not in your packet, but can I pull them up for y'all right now?
Yes.
Take a look at it. There we go. Here. Here we go. All right, these are the minutes.
So this basically, we all saw this already. This is exactly the same set, should be the exactly same set of minutes that were done by, that were put out by the,
Clerk's office.
I'm sorry, yes, the clerk's office. Yeah, and they were consistent across all of the meetings. So everybody's seen these, so make sure that everybody understands this is the set of minutes that we're approving today in our second motion. Anybody got any comments?
Oh.
on it?
The last item of
something else on there?
Let's
let's see,
There's another set of minutes.
Yeah, you may be looking
yeah,
at the other one.
February 27th.
Oh, okay, these are the joint, those are the joint minutes. That's the 27th.
So you've got the February 27 minutes on your tablet.
Right.
The 7 minutes that he just had on the screen, Dave, are from our joint meeting where we had everybody in the room at the airport. So you have 2 sets of minutes that we're approving today.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is the minutes from the airport meeting, and then the minutes in your packet are the minutes from our last scheduled session here on February 27th.
Correct.
Okay. You may,
Mr. Chairman, so this is the airport authority minutes, it looks like, so you're gonna, essentially, it's just the same minutes, items 3, which is meeting purpose, and items 4 will be what you really need to focus on. The rest of them, we'll change to show that, for instance,
The members present, council
will
present,
include
yes.
the airport authority members, and then submitted by will be submitted by the chairman here,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
But it's essentially the same set of minutes. Just wanted you to understand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not, it's not exactly.
yeah,
that,
it
but
needs to
it's-
be, so Michael, when I sent you the email earlier this week, that's what I was unclear. That's what I wanted you to do, was change that to Paulding County
Okay.
IBA, and then, so that we didn't have contradicting minutes from organizations in the same meeting, we would use the same set of
Yes,
minutes
sir.
that the minute takers took. This set of minutes, Miss Yolanda, Miss Angela, and our court clerk all agreed that this is what we would submit,
So I'll,
based on the notes that they took through the meeting.
gotcha. So I will make the adjustments to the members present. Meeting purpose is gonna stay the same and then submitted by.
Yep, I think that's really all the changes.
You got it.
Got it. Okay,
Okay?
we'll do it.
So, based on that, may I get a motion to approve both sets of minutes?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. The financial statements are, approval of the financial statements are next, they're in your packet.
Yes.
And really, aside from, and I kinda looked at this, looked these over, the only difference here is just the monthly bills that you've been paying, that Michael's been paying out of the account. Everything else is pretty well, done. We have not sold or bought any property. We've made no major expenditures since the February 27th meeting.
Correct.
You guys wanna take just a couple minutes and look at those and make sure you don't have any questions. By the way, nice job, Michael. That was a very comprehensive set of financials that you put together, which I appreciate.
Absolutely. I'll mention, since we're on that topic, not to interrupt you while you're reviewing that, there are two checks that came in for deposit into your accounts. One is from Greystone Power in the amount of $608.39, and that's for the member capital credit. That's, they're paying it out earlier
The
this
dividend?
year. Yeah, because of COVID-19.
Got it.
The other was $53, in the amount of $53 from ACCG, and this is from the Group Self-Insurance Workers' Comp Fund.
So we went through our audit and that's our refund.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we'll be depositing those shortly.
Perfect.
Into the respective accounts, so you should be aware of that.
Michael, I have forgotten what the professional fees, the 29,000 and change and the 20,000 and change.
What page are you on, Chairman?
Let's see, what page am I on? Page 1. Down about 2/3 of the way down, or 6270 and 6280.
So I see 6271 and 6272, 29,325 and 20,000, is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
That's your accounting and your legal fees, Dave.
for what length of time?
This is year-to-date, I believe, year-to-date as of May 31, so
Correct.
this is your fiscal year-to-date.
Okay,
Mhm.
Does this run on the same fiscal year as the county ends
Yes.
until June
Yes.
30th?
Yes.
And I think the reason the accounting was so high this year is we had the audit, right?
Right. And we're actually beginning the process for this year's audit already, and I was gonna touch on that during the director's report.
Okay. Anybody got any other questions about financials? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
second?
All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? Okay. So, we need to, I guess, discuss this openly, but Michael's going to be our new executive director for the IBA. That's no surprise, but we need to formally install him because he's got some duties that he needs to perform that we need to get him legal to perform, I guess is how we should say it, correct? Tom?
Yeah, ultimately, you have to have a motion and a second and an affirmative vote to appoint him. If you need to discuss it, you can discuss it open, but if you need to, you could adjourn into executive session if you needed to discuss anything. But if you don't need to do that, you can do it out here.
Okay, so, may I have a resolution to appoint Michael Hughes as our IBA Executive Director?
It's a motion, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second, any discussion? That we need to submit, okay, all in favor?
Thank you, John.
Okay. I'd like to point out that that's a dual role. Michael's paid by the EDO, and we're getting that service for the IBA at no charge, so we were paying a person to do that before. That's not happening now. What we will be doing moving forward is, instead of paying two people, we will actually be engaging in an agreement with the EDO under a common, I don't know how we're gonna put this together just yet, but we're going to provide an admin person for Michael through the IBA, and that person will be able to, based on the fact that that makes them a county employee, it makes it easier for us to offer the things that we have to have, a benefit package for that long-term person. And there's some maneuvering, I think, that you're still working through to figure out the best use of funds for that, I think is the way to say it, and what's the best use of the funds for the taxpayers. And Michael's gonna bring a proposal to us very quickly about how that's gonna look and what he needs from us from that perspective to support him in that role. But he's been, working as a one-man band here for about 4 months now. We need to make sure he's got some, he's not gonna be able to do both of these jobs without some admin.
Right.
Is that?
That is accurate.
Okay.
That is accurate.
You wanna do your director's report?
I do. Just briefly, a couple of things related to the Dallas Industrial Park. The first item is just some additional, I want to ask your approval of doing some additional work out there related to the Setco site. Working with the engineer out there, they are asking, because they're trying to get permits from the city of Dallas. In order to do that, there's some additional work the city of Dallas is requesting. One is a sewer line to be tested and dedicated to the city. And then the other is a water line to be tested and placed into service. So I've gotten estimates on the costs for performing that. And
So let me ask you, I saw the estimates, Michael. The guys are in your packet. If you
Yep.
scroll to the right, you'll see value contracting.
Yep.
So I guess my question is this something that we've agreed to do up front? Why would Setco not pay for this themselves?
You know, I've gone back because I've got the contract for sale here, and I didn't see anywhere in here that they were obligated to do that.
Because we made them a pretty good deal on the property.
Yes.
So I think we should push back a little bit and just say, hey, look, guys, if you got, I mean, we're not talking about a ton of money here.
It's not.
You know, based on the fact that the county gave you an incentive up front to take the property, maybe asking us to pick up these small ancillary costs is not the most
I'm
effective.
happy to do that. Happy to do that.
Yeah, I don't recall anything that required us to do it. I mean, it doesn't mean you're precluded from doing it, but I don't think we were contractually obligated to do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't blame them for asking. You can't get the order if you don't ask, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, but I think we should go back
Yeah.
and say, look, you know, you guys have a really,
Good deal.
we've made you a great economic deal to take the property. You know, we need you to take care of those things.
Sure. Happy to do that.
How many acres are there?
Is this 5 that they took?
Yeah, this is 5 that they took.
So this was, we approved the sale of this, James, in the last meeting that was Boyd,
Right.
that he wasn't here, okay?
Okay.
So he, I guess, was in the transition where you were coming on, so that, I don't think you were installed in February 27th, were you?
No, not
So-
so large.
So that 5 acres that you see sitting right there on the
Yeah, that's the
deal,
Setco.
Setco's gonna take that, and, you know, there's inherent issues with the Dallas Industrial Park. That used to be a residential
Yeah.
development, and we're trying to work
Changing.
through that. But, since we made that deal with them, just so everybody knows, we took an appraisal on the rest of the property, and Michael's gonna
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about that. I'm not gonna steal his thunder there, but to bring you up to speed, they got a really good deal on the land, so I don't
Looks
think we
that
should
way.
be, I don't think we should be, subsidizing it any further than what we've offered to bring in there. And they're gonna, listen, Setco's gonna bring jobs,
Right.
that's gonna be this is gonna be good for
Right,
Paulding County, no
everybody.
question about that. But we need to strike a balance of
Right.
what we've done and what we're willing to do to move forward.
Got a couple of questions, and if it's not the right time to ask, or if we're gonna talk about it later. One is the Newtown, what do you call it, the Newtown
Overlay district.
overlay. It's my understanding that the entire Dallas Industrial Park is included in that, and I just don't want us to bump
So,
up against.
so we talked about this in the joint meeting,
Yeah,
and,
There might be some adjustments that need to be.
well, and what I think I heard beyond that is that they would pull the stuff in the back out and just basically bring it to what you could see up front from the street.
Just what was visible from.
Does
Right.
that seem fair?
That's
Well,
what
that-
I've
that-
heard.
that's
That's
what-
what I'd understood.
Yeah, that's what was discussed with Kendall and I, so.
So in this case, we're just talking.
What do we need to
basically
do?
here.
Because I guess we're the owner of the property, what do we need to do as the IBA, James, to move that to a resolution?
Right. I probably just need to get with Kendall and talk to him about what you want to do, what we want to do as the IBA, and then get that.
Well, I think we have a bigger discussion here about this property, so we'll definitely,
Because that was put in originally when it was going to be a subdivision.
right.
Now it's turned into an industrial park, which changes things a little bit. So basically what you can see from Memorial is what's going to be important, not necessarily what's back in the back of the industrial park.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't want us to get to a roadblock there and have a delay later on.
so I have so during executive session, I've got a couple things about real estate that we want to touch on, and that's gonna be part of it.
Okay.
And for those of us that have a lot of darts flying every day, probably all of us, what does Setco do?
Tires.
Tires, that's right.
So are they taking that whole site for their business? or
Yes,
are they
sir.
going,
The
okay.
whole site.
Are they going to manufacture or just wholesaler?
I believe they're just a wholesale.
Okay.
I think
It's
they
a-
wholesale and recycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a heavy duty
But it's
tire.
like, it's like
Yeah.
earth movers.
But earth movers, yeah.
All right.
The kind that takes one tractor trailer to move the whole tire.
All right, the next item is the appraisal that Chairman Nolan just spoke of.
This is in your, if you guys just keep scrolling, it's in your packet.
Apologize here, we're not gonna go through all of this, but what I think I wanna just point out, highlight for you is the first page there, basically. And based on this appraisal done by Mr. Ron Stokes, what's interesting about this, he's determined that the highest and best use is actually high-density residential.
Of course it is.
And the value being $3.6 million for 50, just over almost 50, well, 55 and a half acres.
So that's the Setco property removed, and there's another piece of property, another 2.2 acres, I think we've already sold out of there, that somebody else has. So that's the balance of the industrial park. But, so guys, this is something that we're gonna need to decide what we're gonna do with this property. One, do we wanna dispose of it now that we've got an appraisal? What I've asked Michael to do is, we need to do an assessment of the property, looking at two things. One, getting with the county works folks, your folks, figure out what we've got to do to make it an industrial park. How much money do we have to spend to get it there? Once we've done that, I want to go back to Mr. Stokes and ask him,
Reassess it.
yeah, have him reassess the property based on those improvements and give us an idea of where we sit. And I think at that point, it's just a cost-benefit analysis for us.
Right.
If we spend money to make money, that's one thing. If we're gonna spend a bunch of money to improve the property, and that's not what's gonna happen,
Right.
and we're either gonna lose money or and maybe breaking even would be okay. In a break-even situation, we still get commercial development into the area, which is the goal.
So
So
that's what we want.
right, so if we can get to a break-even position or a profit position, then I think we gotta move forward. If it's a loss, then we look at bringing somebody else in who's willing to take that on. Keeping in mind that there's an industrial park adjacent to that, that's already sitting there locked, loaded, and ready to go. So there's gonna be some things to talk about
Right.
with regard to the property, but now we've got a baseline, we know what it's worth and kind of where we can.
But
just
you've also got 2 industrial buildings already in there.
We do. You're not gonna be able to, I don't think you're gonna be able to do anything but move forward with an industrial. So we're gonna have to sell it to somebody who's willing to take it down to the finish line, or, you know, bite the bullet and do it ourselves.
Right.
We just gotta figure out how we wanna do it.
Okay. Makes sense. But that'd be good to create more industry. That's what we want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Michael, on that page 16
Yes, sir.
survey, what are those 2 pieces of property that are broken out?
That's Setco in the
is
middle.
Setco.
There's actually 3 pieces,
Yeah.
Dave.
Okay.
One is
The
Setco
county-
and the other is the piece of the county owns. That's
County
what
owns
this
that
is.
one, and then that little 2 acres up front is that other company that bought
Right.
that. I think it's 2.2 acres, or maybe 1.2 acres.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's the original plat as it was platted back.
How many houses were originally gonna go in there?
There was quite a few.
Yeah, I can't really make out the numbers on that to give you an idea.
Yeah, it's like a lot.
70 acres, so. wanna say it was around 300 or something acre, 300 something lots.
Okay.
Because it was originally, Wayne Tippett is one who owned it originally.
Okay.
All right, you gonna give us an Nebo Road property update?
Yes, sir. The next one, just real quick. This one, we are, I need to engage, and this may be another situation where I go back to the prospective purchaser and ask them to cover some costs. Similar situation where we've got to do some cross easements. Don't think it's gonna be more than about $1,500 to do the cross easements.
So do we know what the economic benefit to the purchaser of the Nebo Road property was already? Was it significant?
I don't think
Cause
it's-
that's a piece that's been working its way through for a while, hasn't it? I'm not, can you bring us up to speed on that? Well, I know you can't tell us who the purchaser is just yet, but,
Right.
how big's the property?
It's just 2 acres that we're talking about.
Oh, is this the one behind the convenience store?
Yes.
Oh,
This one is-
okay, yeah, all right, yeah, I would tell you no,
Okay,
go back and,
yeah.
yeah. No, I'm a fair, yeah, these guys are getting a good deal too.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what
That's my opinion. The other 3 guys sitting in the room need to weigh in on that, but,
Yeah, I'll go back to that, have that discussion. The next 2 items, there's no information in your packets on, but and they're just really updates for you. One is the IBA audit. Had a meeting with Tabitha Pollard a couple weeks ago just to begin those discussions. Paul Hawkinson, our CPA, was in the meeting, and since then, we've traded emails back and forth. We've set up we have access to, through Malden and Jenkins, a sheet, basically, checklist of all the documents that are needed to perform the audit. So I just wanted y'all to know that was in process. Talking to Tab, I think there's a finding that has come up twice, or at least consistent in the last couple of years that we want to address, which is collateralizing the cash that's in one of the accounts. And so let me get some more details about that before.
why would we collateralize cash?
I'm not a CPA, so it's just basically
You ever heard
collateral.
of that, Tom?
So the collateral in the bank has to be collateralized 110%, is what she told me. So that was apparently a finding.
Okay, I mean, yeah, let's get some more information on that. I mean, there may be a perfectly legitimate reason to do that. It makes no sense to me that if we have cash sitting in the bank, we would need to collateralize our cash sitting in the bank.
I understood.
Does that make any sense? You ever heard anything like that? Okay. That must be some crazy government regulation that somebody's dealing with on page
I'm pretty sure
490.
I think that's exactly what it is. And then the last item is just to let y'all know you have a vacancy, and it's appointed by the commissioners, I understand.
Who's the who
I
we,
think, wasn't Robert, no?
he was an employee.
Okay.
Tommy was appointed to Robert's position, so I think we're full. We don't have a vacancy. You were the vacancy.
Unless there's somebody, the term's expiring, I don't know.
So I've got Stacey Hamby mandated, Mayor Kelly mandated, Chairman Carmichael mandated,
Yep.
Dan Olin is the.
I'm appointed.
Mayor Moran is mandated. And then on this roster here, I had another,
Yeah, that would have been Robert,
You
and
have-
that's
yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, you only have six, you have 6
Okay.
total.
Okay, gotcha.
4 of them are by statute, or
Gotcha.
set
Okay.
composition, so it's really just these 2.
I stand corrected, I apologize for that.
No worries, no worries.
Just want to make
But
sure.
you need to kind of.
You're getting caught up in your auditing, that's a good
Yes.
thing. But you're the vacancy, actually.
Gotcha.
Your position was what we had open.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. That's all I had.
Okay, can I get a motion to move to executive session to discuss litigation, real estate, and personnel?
So moved.
Actually, we don't have any personnel. Yes, we do. We do. Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna move back into regular session. No actions were taken in executive session.
So approve the minutes.
We just approved the minutes, correct. Any new business that anybody wants to bring to the table? Do we have anybody for public comment over there, Tom? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting if there's nothing new.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
So just as a side note, our next meeting, we're just gonna do them as called for a while to give the EDO time. So we're only gonna come to a meeting when we need to take an action or we need to make a vote. There's not gonna be a regular IBA monthly meeting. There's no reason to do that. This group wasn't formed to have a monthly meeting. It was formed for specific functions. So if we have a meeting, it will be the last Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. So keep that on your calendar as a kind of a clear date. But at the end of the day, I don't see a reason to really have another meeting for probably, I think what do you think, Michael?
Maybe.
60 days?
Yeah. I was gonna suggest that.
You want to start with that, and then if we get to 90, we'll go from there?
Which, Mr. Chairman, you've given notice to the public, I think, of a regular meeting schedule. So if do you know for sure, like, you're not going to meet in July? Because it might be good to do a meeting cancellation.
Okay, then let's do a meeting cancellation for July,
That way the public will know that there's no.
and then we'll have, August the 27th will be the next scheduled meeting. And do you guys want to stay with 10, or do you want to move to 9?
10.
Everybody good with that? Now, what I will say is if there's nothing to do at the August meeting, then, we're not gonna bring everybody into the room just to say, we don't have anything to do. So if there's not anything that you need us to do, Michael, if you know that,
Give you a heads
then
up.
I'd like to give about 2 weeks worth of notice so that we can let everybody plan, and we'll go from there.